The universe did not begin with a God speaking words. It began with an explosion. Science calls it the Big Bang. Not creation, expansion, not order. Light. Modern physics tells us that before matter, before atoms, before stars, before time had meaning, there was an unbearable release of energy. A singularity breaking open, radiation flooding everything, light before structure, energy before form. This is not belief. This is measurement. Telescopes do not see gods at the beginning. They see light. The oldest signal ever detected is not a planet, not a voice, not a throne. It is the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the first light released when the universe became visible. Light came first, and this is where it becomes uncomfortable, because the oldest forbidden traditions say the same thing. Long before laboratories, before equations, before satellites, the Gnostics said reality began with light, not metaphorical light, not symbolic light, primordial light. They called it the pleroma, the fullness, a realm of pure light, intelligence, and awareness. From that fullness came thought. From thought came structure. From structure came matter. Light first, then intelligence, then form, then worlds. Science agrees. Physics tells us matter is frozen energy. Energy is vibration. Vibration is frequency. Frequency is information. Light is information. This is why creation stories start breaking when examined closely. Look again at Genesis, not the sermon version, the text itself.
Let there be light.
Let there be light. Not earth, not humans, not order. Light. Before the sun exists, before days are counted, before time is measured. That should disturb you, because it means ancient writers understood something science only confirmed in the 20th century. Visibility comes before structure. The universe did not begin ordered. It became ordered after light expanded. The Big Bang does not describe God creating the universe. It describes the universe becoming visible. Expansion, not origin. And this is where Gnosticism becomes dangerous. The Gnostics warned that the being who shaped matter, the demiurge, mistook himself for the source. He creates form, but not light. He governs structure, but not origin. He demands obedience because he did not create what truly matters.
I created everything, so I am your God. You must obey me.
That is not blasphemy. That is hierarchy. Even modern cosmology shows this pattern. Systems emerge from deeper systems. Laws arise from deeper laws. Nothing appears fully formed. So when religion says the Creator has no source, no layer above him, no origin, it is not ancient wisdom. It is political theology. Because an authority without origin cannot be questioned. An authority with origin can be traced. Now listen carefully. This is why the forbidden texts mattered. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says,
"Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift a stone, and you will find me."
Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift a stone, and you will find me. That is not religion. That is omnipresence through energy. In the Gospel of Philip, Jesus is described as coming from a higher realm than the material world, not created by it, sent into it. In the Apocryphon of John, the story turns dark. The material world is shaped by a lesser power who did not create the original light. Above him is Sophia, wisdom. Above Sophia is the fullness of light. The light does not rule by fear. It does not demand worship. It reveals. And then there is the most erased text of all, the Gospel of Judas. In this text, Judas is not the villain.
Judas, the time is near. You know what must be done.
He is the only one who understands who Jesus is. Judas tells Jesus he knows where he came from, not Nazareth, not Bethlehem, not earth. He says Jesus came from the immortal realm of light, and Jesus does not deny it.
You come from the immortal realm of Barbelo light.
Instead, he separates Judas from the others and tells him something terrifying, that the other disciples worship a God of ritual, sacrifice, and control.
The others worship a God that does not fully understand itself. A God of ritual, a God of sacrifice, a God of control. You will be hated forever, not because you betray me, but because you release me from the body.
a God that does not fully understand itself. Judas is told he will be hated forever, not because he betrayed Jesus, but because he helped release him from a body. That is not religion. That is rebellion. Now ask yourself something most people never ask. Why does nobody in the canonical Gospels understand where Jesus comes from? They ask him directly, "Where are you from?" And he never answers like a man born inside a system. He says,
I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the world. John 8:12.
Before Abraham was, I am.
Before Abraham was, I am. John 8:58.
I am the way, the truth, and the life.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. That is not the language of a created being. That is not the voice of someone owned by a structure. That is the language of pre-existence. Now connect this back to science. The Big Bang shows light before matter, energy before atoms, information before form. So when Gnostic texts say Jesus came from light, they are not speaking poetry. They are describing origin. And that is why institutions panicked. Because if Jesus comes from light and not from the creator of matter, then authority collapses, obedience loses power, fear stops working. So the story was rewritten. Sophia was erased. The demiurge was renamed God. Light became metaphor instead of source. Knowledge became sin. Questions became rebellion. That is not faith. That is fear management. This is why the book of Enoch had to go, because it teaches humans were taught knowledge, astronomy, time, structure, light. This is why the book of Jubilees had to go, because it shows time as cycles, not straight lines, patterns, not obedience. These books were not dangerous to people. They were dangerous to systems, governments, institutions, religious empires, because a person who understands origin does not kneel easily. This is why ancient centers of knowledge, libraries, texts, schools were burned, why Babylon became a symbol of evil instead of wisdom, why light was reduced to poetry. In ancient language, Babylon did not only mean a city, it meant knowledge of stars, mathematics, origin, cosmology. So when forbidden traditions say Jesus came from a higher kingdom, they are not pointing to an empire. They are pointing to before systems existed, before law, before control, before fear. Science did not destroy God. It exposed layers. Myth did not oppose science. It preserved memory. Light first, then intelligence, then structure, then control. And somewhere along the way, the controllers hid their own origin. That is why this knowledge was buried, why Gnostic texts were burned, why questions became heresy. Because once people realize creation begins with light, not command, not obedience, not fear, they stop worshiping power. They start understanding reality. This is not atheism. This is not mockery. This is pre-religion knowledge. And this is why Jesus terrified every system he touched. Because light does not ask permission. Light reveals. This is unauthorized knowledge. And the reason this feels dark is because it was never meant to be remembered.